live to your area on twitch.tv.
Let's fucking go!
We are your number one place for everything in the world of all elite wrestling. And just remember, when you're with us, you'll always be elite.
Yo, it's clear to see when you open up your feed that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. We bring the heat to your screen every week, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV. So understand every time that we speak that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. Our 3 letters is all you'll ever need, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Elite POV, where it's podcast time, and you know what that means. I'm hosting this week because Phil can't be here this week. He's on his way to Florida, going to Disney. Phil's going to Disney. He's left the podcast. He's moving to Disney. He's going to be at NXT real soon. He's going to be at, what is that? At least they have Full Sail. I don't even remember anymore.
No, they're at the PC.
No, they're at the PC. Well, he's going there. He's been signed. He's gonna be Dragon Lee's partner, and they're gonna be. It's gonna be Dragon Lee, and what was his E-Fed character name?
Prince
the masked one at that one. El Platano. That's what he's gonna be.
Prince Platano.
Prince Platano. Anyways, my name's Kyle Masters. What's going on, guys? Hosting the show today. Joined, as always, by my 2 co-hosts. Number 1, she is, as you can see on her shirt, 7-star Jackie R. Jackie Rodriguez. How's going on, Jackie? What's up?
What is going on? See, we keep changing the number, and
I know, I
feel
keep forgetting.
This might be like a little bit of a
Your
demotion
shirt fucked me up.
for me.
It was your shirt.
I know. Blame the shirt, and also blame the fact that my boys are dropping titles left and right. It's a sad day for me, but
yikes!
They're still 7 stars to me, and the history books will still say 7
real
stars.
to me. Damn it!
But you know what? It's Thursday night, and we're here. We're live on YouTube exclusively for the first time. We're switching it up, getting ready to go into the new year. So we're excited about that. Big things going to be popping off for Elite POV, so we're feeling good.
Yeah, so specifically why we're on YouTube today, guys, is because in 2023, when we do the whole official rebrand of the brand of Elite POV, there's going to be a lot of YouTube content, so we kind of wanted to get you guys used to coming to this page. Because if you're not subscribed, you're going to want to subscribe because there's going to be a lot, and I'm telling you, a lot of content being uploaded to our YouTube page starting in 2023. A lot of cool stuff coming in, especially on the Patreon page. You'll get a lot of early access to a lot of those shows, and you'll get exclusive shows that won't even be on our YouTube channel, so you can support us that way as well. But we're joined, I can't forget her, joined by the third guest, the third co-host. She is the insider of your insider. This is Kimmy Sokol.
Hello. We are celebrating today because, guys, he's number 1 for Sports Illustrated. He's number 1 in all of your hearts. Seth Rollins,
no, this isn't for the Fed.
Baby.
No, you can't do this here. Wait till the new year and you can start your for the Fed. You can do whatever the hell you want on it.
Hey.
Yeah.
There was some AEW talent on that list.
There was.
Both members of FTR made the list. So we have to talk about number 1.
Roman in his 3 matches this year made the list. I love that.
Masha Slamovich made the list, and more importantly,
that was really
Seth
cool.
Rollins, number 1, baby, in all of your hearts. Better than Will Ospreay.
Maybe according to that guy, that Sports Illustrated guy, did Triple H give him like a title belt? Here's a title belt if you make at least 1 or 2 of our Fed stars in the top 2. Yeah. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about this week, and we'll dive into FTR. A lot of FTR stuff this week, which we'll let Jackie a lot to talk about. A resident FTR girl, 629246926 on Twitter. You can follow her. I think that's an account. I don't know. Go ahead and check it out.
The number keeps changing.
Yeah. But it's been an interesting week, to say the least, in the elite world. Going into, especially next week, which is technically like a new era of like AEW. You know what I mean? Like we're stepping into the new it's almost like a new season almost. Like they're revamping everything starting next week. It's good. The new graphics has already been shown. There's gonna be a new set. Both Rampage and Dynamite are gonna have different feels. We're kind of going into like a nice little I don't know if we call it a refresh, but like a nice revamp of the brand in general. So I'm very excited about that, and it's in Bryan Danielson's hometown next week, so we'll see what happens. There's only one match announced for next week as of today, and as of this podcast, it's Chris Jericho and Ricky Starks. They said there will be more matches on Rampage, and there's also the TNT Championship. Sorry, Samoa Joe and Darby Allin. I forgot that was late today that they announced that. But start off with a little bit of news. We'll do the short news first and end off with the big one, because the big one we'll tie into and we'll roll into Dynamite with it. So just a little bit of tiny news to kind of go over. If everyone's wondering, Mercedes is still the big talk every single week. Mercedes Moné, Mercedes Varnado, whatever she's going to be called. She tweeted out Moné Christmas. Oh, specifically that too. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Forgot to even start off with that. I hope you guys all had a fantastic Christmas and good holidays. But she tweeted out Moné Christmas on Christmas Day, which is hilarious. But as of today, it's been said that obviously we know that her contract was negotiated out of WWE months ago. As of January 1st, she's officially a free agent. And it's almost certain she's going to be at Wrestle Kingdom in some way. We don't know what's going to happen on that first night. There's going to be a lot of eyes on Wrestle Kingdom. But the big thing is this week that was said was from not ours, but Sean Ross Sapp saying that, I know it's speculation, so this is speculation. He didn't say it was confirmed. It's speculated that it's about at 80% that Mercedes is going to AEW, which is very, very interesting.
It's a high percent.
Yeah, and I want to tie in kind of a few things that Meltzer said. I know Meltzer's Meltzer, and everyone has their opinions on him. I did pick one thing that he said, and I'm like, it's kind of true, though. It's like, if it's not Mercedes, they would have had to have said something by now. You would have had to have, like, said who it is, or kind of make mention without making mention that it's not her. Because there's too much hype now that like, literally 90% of the fan base thinks it's her. It's going to be her on that LA show. And
they would have shot themselves in the foot by now if that was the case. Like, if it's anybody other than her, the damage control that would need to be done at this point to rectify that kind of situation, that would be so bad, because everybody has their hopes so high up at this point that if it's anybody else, they should have said it. They should have said it by now.
It's going to get shit on if it's not, like, if it hadn't been announced by now. So, an SRS coming out and saying he's 80% sure off the speculation that she's AEW bound. Oh boy. Like, Phil said it right. It was the last week and the week before that this is a big deal with her coming to AEW. It's as big as when, back in the day with the Hogan jumping ship to WCW. Like, it's that big of a name that right now, as of this moment, Mercedes' name in the industry, not even just wrestling, but in pop culture right now, is a huge name and a huge get. So, I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys? I'm sure you two have heard what's been said, and I'm sure our insider Kimmy has heard what's been said. So, Kimmy, can you come into the middle of the camera for a little bit?
Okay, you didn't tell me that this was the
I know, I totally forgot, but don't worry. Starting in our new brand, it's all normal camera formats. This is going to be the last time anyone sees this layout, so just deal with it for today.
So, he's so unprepared. He doesn't tell me these
Go
things.
on for what I asked, though. Go on.
I guess so. Guys, it's obviously me. I am.
Oh, you're the partner.
It's
oh,
me.
okay.
It's me. It's me.
You've been training. That's
me.
why. Okay, yeah. I
yeah,
knew it.
That's why I've been slacking in our group messages. I haven't been answering. It's because I've been training really hard.
Gotcha.
It's me.
Pumping iron.
Yeah.
Damn right. It's not me.
No. Stop.
Womp womp. What a letdown.
God. Yeah.
I know.
Cancel the show.
I want my money back.
It's over. It's over. Yeah, so 80%, that's a pretty high percentage. But I think we all pretty much know it's most likely Mercedes. And she actually put something really interesting on her Instagram story last night because
That's
at
right.
45 minutes after Dynamite, there was like news breaking every 5 minutes. And I'm like, bro, can I get a break here? So she had posted somebody who had listed all of her accomplishments in WWE, and she had said, if like the caption had said, like, if this is the end, thank you for everything. It's like, out of all the things, you repost this. It is a sign. You know, we already know she's in Japan. That had been reported. She left for Japan early last week. So it's just a matter of time before it is boss time at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh.
That was good.
It's Monet time at Wrestle Kingdom. The Monet in the bank.
Yes. Screw the casino ladder match. It's Monet
in the bank.
In the bank.
The cease and desist time, because a little too close.
Jack, what did you think of the news? Like, what was your first reaction? Obviously, I'm sure you'd be excited. You're excited, right? I think if you're not excited, then check your damn pulse already, man. You must be dead.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be excited. I just I think I get nervous because it's 80%. That's still 20% where it could go sideways. And yeah. I err on the side of okay, I just want to sit back and wait until the final moment where it could happen because I don't want to be let down in the off chance. But we continue to say at this point, with the awareness of the hype that's surrounding this, if they didn't want it to be a humongous letdown, they would have had to say something by now in order to kind of bring it back in the other direction if it was anybody but her. So I'm cautiously excited. Just even on the side of her being in Japan and her, the potential involvement with Wrestle Kingdom, that's just big enough in and of itself. But the potential for involvement with AEW, that's massive. And I'd cautiously excited is where I'm at right now. But if she gets to show up at that freaking Kia Forum show, the roof is going to blow off. It's going to be crazy.
I mean,
if it's anyone else, they're going to get booed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
if Thunder Rosa's coming back, they're going to boo her. I don't care where it is.
They're going to boo anybody. Yeah. It could be it could be literally anyone. And if it's not her, it's going to just fall flat.
There's going to be that moment after Saraya makes her entrance where there's that quietness. The crowd's going to be chanting Mercedes or Sasha, whatever they're going to be chanting. They're going to be chanting it loud because they're all going to be smart and know it's got to be her. And the roof is going to explode. It's going to be, I guarantee you, it's going to be as loud as the Punk pop. I know it's tough to match that because they were in Chicago. There was 18,000 fans, and that was the loudest pop I've ever heard in my entire life. But it's gonna come close. It's gonna be very close. But anyways, again, we said it before on the show. It would be really cool for her. I think it's a smart move too. I mean, you got the freedom in AEW to wrestle on a national TV, right? You got the freedom to go and do whatever you want with Disney and stuff. You got your freedom to go over to New Japan and do the Stardom stuff. Look at Lance right now. He's part of AEW, but he's doing shit in Japan. Tony Khan gives you that freedom. So, AEW is obviously an appealing brand to Mercedes right now, and especially where she's at in her career. It's not saying that she never wouldn't go back to the WWE, but maybe when she's done with her AEW career, she goes back for one last run or last couple of runs with WWE, right, to finish off her career. So we'll see what happens. But not only the big thing happening with AEW, if it does happen in 2023, house shows. House shows are basically, JR made the comment, basically saying without saying it, that AEW will be dipping into the house show thing in 2023. He made comments and mentioned that Jeff Jarrett will be heavily involved in producing those and helping set those up. So I kind of just wanted to get small opinions from you both. What do you think of the idea of AEW doing house shows? Do you think it's a good idea? What do you want to kind of see from these house shows? We'll start with Kimmy. So, Kimmy, what do you think?
I don't want them to be like WWE house shows where it's the same matches every month.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
The city street fight, whatever city they're in, street fight is the main event in every house show.
Yeah, like Rollins has been working Theory now on the house show circuit for about like 2 months. And after a while, they're wrestling next week on Raw. So how many times do they have to wrestle before? Obviously not not one singular person seeing every single match, but how long before it gets stale type of thing. So I don't want them to do the same matches for a month. I want a mix. I also don't want them very frequent, like maybe 2 to 3 a month, I think would be the smart bet. Because the other thing too, it seems like more people get injured on house shows than a standard TV show. So I think for safety reasons, I would only want to see 2 to 3 a month rather than like 10 or 15
Yeah.
a
No,
month.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's it's not ideal, right? Like you don't want to overwork your talent. Like AEW is the alternative. They want to be the alternative where they're not putting their wrestlers wrestling 5 out of the 7 days a week, right? Or 6 out of the 7 days a week. I kind of picture their house shows as being like almost an extension of Dark and Dark Elevation. Like they might cut down on some of those matches because sometimes there's like 12 or 13 matches a week on one of those shows. You take half of those shows, you throw them in a house show with like 1 or 2 big names that want to do a house show. You got a pretty decent house show, right? I think they can do, and with the size of their roster, they can do some cool house shows. I think. Jackie, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea just because at some point, some of this, like especially like the mid card talent needs to get their reps in, and they might not necessarily get that on TV. And just to keep everybody kind of like loose and in the flow of things, I think that that's important to get people that match time that they may have otherwise not gotten on Dynamite or on Rampage. But like you guys said, not to overkill it. Because in the sense of like the WWE schedule where people are being like burnt to the ground and run down, you don't want that to become the norm for AEW because it's been, celebrated that the alternative is that the schedule is lighter. Like don't do them just for the sake of doing them, make them feel like they're relevant. And also for people that are, hoping to attend these shows, you have to make them feel like they're worth going to. Because if people are like, they're going to the shows and they know that they're not going to get a chance to be on TV or something like that, you have to make something feel exclusive about it.
Yeah.
Like, why should I want to be there? So you want to have like 1 or 2 big stars on it. Maybe not your headliners necessarily, but people that are popular enough to carry a show, like your Orange Cassidy's maybe, or your best friends, things like that. So I think it could be a good idea to have them, but just don't overkill it.
And a lot of wrestlers that
no, never mind. You can go.
I was just gonna say.
Go.
I was just gonna say. God damn it, Kimmy. I was just gonna say that maybe wrestlers too that interact with the crowd a lot, because he brought up like Murder Hawk for house shows, which is a good idea though, because like you see on TV, Lance Archer interacts a lot with the crowd. You know what I mean? Like he makes sure that they have a good time, whether like it's interacting with the chants, the t-shirt, the fake t-shirt throw right during his entrance, like right at the end, where he like holds it in one hand and he's like trying to get the crowd's reaction to just throws it at the ground. You know what I mean? Some wrestlers that are good at doing that would be ideal for house shows. But he mentioned, I remember this because I went to a WWE house show where the main event was Dolph Ziggler and Sin Cara.
I love that story.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I paid to be here to watch this, and it was the worst match I've ever seen. I'm like, how was this the main event? It was awful. So we'll see. We'll see. They're putting a lot of stock in Jeff Jarrett with him producing the house show, so we'll see what happens as that comes to fruition in 2023. And hopefully a lot go to a lot of you fans out there and near you, so you guys can experience some AEW house shows.
Well, that's what Ant was saying. No, I'm going to say my point now.
Okay, oh, sorry. Go ahead. I forgot. Yeah, okay.
So Ant brought up a good point, and yes, I'm even going to say that Ant brought up a good point. This is big for us here. That the house shows generate a lot of money, and I think the things for like WWE fan bases, a lot of kids go to them because usually the house shows take place on the weekends when there's no school, where something like Raw or a SmackDown or a Dynamite, they'll end at like 12 o'clock and you have to wake up to go to school the next day. So I think that's the other positive thing about AEW running house shows. It's another source of revenue for them to make money.
Yeah, exactly that. We're going to move on here, and this is kind of like the big story of the news, and there's going to be a lot of talk around this. So It's surrounds your boys there, FTR, Jackie. So a few things, and we'll start with you, obviously, but a few things. So if anyone didn't know, first of all, FTR did lose the AAA tag team belts, hilariously, to a tag team that one of the members is now going to the WWE, like right after they won the belts. So like, all right. Anyways, also, it has nothing to do with them, but at the same time, they stripped Sammy and Ty of the mixed belts because they were supposed to perform there, and they didn't. I guess I don't know if there was a travel restriction or something. I didn't really look into it, but they
AEW kept them.
That's it. So they were stripped of the mixed tag belts. That's all I got on that. But yeah, FTR lost their AAA belts. It looks like it's all part of this story of them going down, I guess, Jackie. I don't know. But
no.
That's not even the big news out of FTR this week. It's that one of the members, your boy, Dax, started his own podcast. Look at that. I would like to say that we inspired him to do so. I just want to say he's a big fan of Jackie here on Elite POV. He was a big fan of our interview. We would like to take full credit for inspiring Dax to create a podcast. He's been thinking about that interview up until now. He was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own podcast. So that's exactly why he did hit. But Jackie, what'd you think of his first episode?
The first episode was really great, about an hour and a half long, and really just insightful, honest, relatable, I think is the way that I chose to describe it. Dax is just very good at keeping stuff real. And it's not like pretentious in any way. A lot of headlines got picked up from this particular interview. And without going too far in my podium, because I already went on a rant about this yesterday personally, because I can't do any of this on the timeline without probably getting dragged half to death. A lot of headlines got picked up from this interview. And quite frankly, when you take anything out of context, it's very easy for things to come across as inflammatory. You're going to get things that are like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. And I can't believe like he brought up this or whatever. Understand that anytime that you're reading anything that comes off of just buzzwords and headlines, you're only getting part of the story. There's a lot of things that when I finally went back and listened to the full interview, I'm like, there's so much missing context. When you're just reading the headline. So when you're formulating opinions, keep that in mind. If you're not going to bother to listen to the full podcast, don't bother formulating opinions because you're not going to get the full story. Overall, he talked a lot about CM Punk and mostly just his own generalized experiences with Punk before the brawl out, which it pops me that they're freaking referring to it as that. But yeah, just like his own personal experiences with him. They do touch on that a little bit, but he does purely state that everything is speculation. He's not saying that he knows exactly what happened because none of us who weren't there know. But I would highly recommend that if you're interested, go listen to the podcast. It was really, really well done. I'm very excited to see what the rest of the show is going to sound like. So congratulations to him. I'm not going to say we inspired him. Maybe we did. But yeah, a whole year after he did the interview with us, he comes out with the podcast. You know, coincidence, maybe.
He sat on it for a whole year. But you said it right, though, Jackie. Like, if you guys haven't listened to it, please go listen to it. Because I saw the headlines. I'm like, hey, I have to listen to it and see what this is all about. Mm-hmm. Not even close to what those headlines say. Like, it's so taken out of context. You really do need to listen. So please go listen to it, and then generate your opinion afterwards. But Kimmy, I don't know if you've listened to it. You have not. So I guess I can't really go to you about this then.
But I will say, CM Punk's Instagram comment about a particular quote was a little interesting to me.
I don't know how to take that. So if you guys didn't see, there was a particular quote, and then Dax put on his Instagram, and then CM Punk comments on it. And it was about like Dax saying that he hopes that the two sides, you know, make up one day because they can do a lot of cool things together and change the wrestling world. And CM Punk put "duh" in the comments.
Very, very eloquently, duh.
And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what?
Well, I think the thing is, it's come out that Tony Khan has yet to buy him out of his contract. So is there a reason he's waiting? Did they
I'm not
secretly
speculating
make
any
up?
of this. I'm done speculating on CM Punk anymore. It's just, since All Out, it's become so goddamn tiring. So, like, I'm just going to, at this point, I'm just like, if he comes back, he comes back. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I couldn't, like, I care. But as of this point, I couldn't give a shit. Just stop
whatever's gonna
being
happen
weird.
is gonna happen.
Stop being weird. It's all I ask. Stop being weird. Just don't put "duh." Like, what are you doing? You know what's happening right now. You know that the wrestling world has no idea what the hell's going on. Why would you comment "duh"? Stop it. It drove me nuts when I seen that. I'm like, come on, what are you doing? You know that the wrestling world is going to look at that and take it in like 15 different directions and just, I don't know. I don't know if he was doing it just to get some clout on his best friend's podcast or one of his good friends' podcast. I have no idea. Whatever. It is what it is. But go listen to his show, guys. It's a great episode. I had it on during work today, and it was fantastic. I can't wait for his next one. But it was really, really well done. But we'll get into it now. AEW Dynamite. It was yesterday, not 2 days ago like we usually talk about. It's yesterday, last night. It's fresh in our mind still. It's fresh in my mind because I watched it this morning. I was busy last night. I didn't even get to watch it live. I watched it today, this morning. And very interesting episode of AEW Dynamite this week, to say the least. I thought it was interestingly structured this week. The way certain matches were placed. I was like, well, this is interesting. I really enjoyed the trios match. I knew it was just going to be absolutely chaos with 300,000 camera cuts because these teams can't slow down. Slow down is not in their wheelhouse. So it's just going to be like, we have to camera cut every second because Penta moves at, the flash speed, and just Ray Phoenix is jumping off everything he could find. So I knew it was going to be something like that. So it was a great match. Not my favorite match of the night, to be honest. Favorite match of the night, I actually very much enjoyed Top Flight and BCC. That was a fantastic match. And then I know Bryan Danielson's match was a great technical wrestling match because I knew him and Ethan Page were going to kill it. But I really liked the tag team match. I kind of want to see those two go at it again because that was a really good tag team match. But it was an interesting episode of Dynamite overall. Like I need your two's overall thoughts first before we dip down into a few of them. So we'll start with Jackie this time. Jackie, overall thoughts.
Overall thoughts was it flowed pretty well from start to finish. I have to say, I'm going to slightly disagree with you on what took match of the night for me because I really thought that the match 6 took match of the night for me. But overall, I thought the Dynamite went really fast. Like, I remember looking at my clock and I was like, wait a minute, it's already main event time. And that hasn't happened in a long time where I feel like the pacing went really smooth and it literally flew by for me. So that's usually an indicator that it's a pretty solid episode, at least for me, that when it feels like it went by too fast, that I'm like, oh, that's an indicator that it was a pretty solid episode.
It was tough for me to feel that way because my replay had 0 commercials. So like I'm flying through regardless.
But did you get picture-in-picture?
No, I had the Fight TV replay. I got to listen to them talk during the Fight TV replays, which is so weird because they're like, we'll be right back. And there was like a 5-second delay, and then Tony Schiavone or Excalibur's right back into commentating. I'm like, what the this is so weird.
What a charmed life, man.
Kimmy, overall thoughts.
I agree with Jackie. I think it flew by. I think not every there's some episodes of Dynamite that drag by. It's like, oh, it's only 8:45 and only this much has happened. But I thought yesterday flew. I thought the in-ring action was the best we've seen on Dynamite in a while. But I think match of the night for me, I was most entertained by the women's match. And, last year, Ali tweeted today, last year there was a no DQ women's tag team match, and maybe with some chairs involved, are we heading towards that route for a two-peat?
That'd be cool.
I'd be down for that.
I'd be really down for that. But, I mean, the elite match would have been, I don't know, I knew what to expect. And it was really cool. And the ending was neat. It was a hell of an idea to have Pac in the ring with a submission and Kenny doing a one-winged angel off, I don't know what the hell that was, and then getting the pin as a submission was happening, and then Matt tapped out. Fantastic way to do that. Great. I love every minute of that. I don't know. For some reason, I watched, and it was a toss-up between the tag team match and the first match. And I don't know, I just really liked the tag team match. I don't know what it was, but it did it for me. Very interesting ending to Dynamite. We had Joe and Wardlow for the TNT belt. Now, I think they did a very, very. I was wondering how they're going to spin this, if they were even going to spin it, if they're just going to have a straight up match. But they had Wardlow earlier tonight, have a TV backstage interview, and they played the whole injury angle. So I'm like, okay. This is smart. If you're going to have Wardlow take the pin, this is what you do on TV to make it look believable, right? Because if Wardlow was going in 100%, I don't think it would have gone over as well with Joe winning over Wardlow. So they have that to play off of, where it wasn't medically 100% the whole match. He should, they're played as like he should have been medically not competed, but he pushed everyone aside to wrestle. And then, Joe eventually led to enough pain where Joe choked him out. So he didn't tap out either, which is a good sign too. And then Wardlow, of all things, gets his man bun cut, and Joe, perfect way to get monumental heat, especially from the females and the males that are into that too. But what a way to get monumental heat than to cut off that man bun of his. And even with that, it's in our thumbnail, the little brief bald spot from the scissors. And I'm like, oh, man. But shouts to Carrie, that Booker Carrie, for tweeting out the pictures of what Wardlow looks like without the man bun. It's not the end of the world. But what a way to get heat, though. That was beautifully done. I really love the main event. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? We'll start with Kimmy. Go ahead.
I thought it was interesting that they did an injury angle. I was like, oh, this is different. And I really thought it was different because we don't really see that a lot, even though, we saw it in match 4, 5 with Nick's ankle.
Yeah.
But, besides the point, they don't really do it besides that. But I'm intrigued to see what's next for Joe. Obviously Darby. But, does Darby win? And then when Ring of Honor TV starts in January, is Joe going to go to Ring of Honor? Is Joe going to beat Darby? I have a lot of questions. I don't like that he has both titles. Obviously, it's not that big of a deal because Ring of Honor, they're not doing anything on TV yet. But I think that we could be doing more with the TNT title. And I think that's the thing that AEW has actually been struggling with since the bottom half of this year. So I think we need to separate those two. Like I said, it's not a big deal because obviously Ring of Honor TV is not a thing yet. But we're going to run into this problem when that starts on Honor Club early next year.
This is tough because I don't think they're going to end Samoa Joe and Wardlow. I don't think that's going to end until Wardlow goes over on Joe because he hasn't beaten him yet. So I don't think that story's ended yet. I think that's going to end with Wardlow beating Joe eventually. I don't know why they inserted Darby into this. That was the one thing about this main event. I'm like, why? Why do they do that?
I guess because they're going to be in Seattle next week. Oh. So it's Darby's home.
Okay, so it's just like a 1 week thing. So this is not going to be a long-term feud. There you go.
I don't think so.
So I think the end goal is going to be Wardlow winning back the TNT belt. And then Joe will do stuff with Ring of Honor. So that's my guess. I don't know. Jackie, what did you think of the main event?
I thought the main event was really good. I love heel Samoa Joe. Oh, yeah. He looked like a monster. It was giving me everything that I could have hoped for because when Joe first came in, obviously he was going to be babyface because everybody was just happy to see him there. But I was dying for the heel turn, and we got it. and him against Wardlow has been the feud that we were looking for. So I'm happy for that. Wardlow, the way that he moves in the ring, the fact that he can do the whisper in the wind, the swanton bomb at his size, it just never stops being like that breathtaking moment, because like the fact that he's that big and that agile is just freaking mind-blowing to me. So two big meaty men slapping me and all that, but it was still like a killer match. But that freaking man bun being cut off, we were watching together in the chat last night and we're like, what a coincidence that Phil goes and cuts his man bun off, and just a few weeks later Wardlow gets his cut off. So I'm not saying that Phil's a trendsetter, but he's a trendsetter.
I just think Elite POV is just inspiring so many AEW superstars. We had that. Jackie inspired Dax to start his own podcast.
See?
Like, I think Elite POV is the trendsetter.
Just saying.
You're welcome, people.
We're watching. Hi. Hire us. No.
Hire me.
Yeah.
I'm graduating in the spring. I need a job.
Oh, that's
Hire me.
qualifications met there. There you go.
That's all you need is a college degree, and you're good. You're hired.
We'll talk about the women's match. I kind of want to talk about the women's match. So they had a tag team match between TJ and Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho. Ruby obviously still beefing with Ty. Sorry. No, I really like that. Obviously, you can't not love Willow Nightingale's energy. She's just so full of
I love her
spirit
so much.
and hilarious. The little things get me every time. Willow's like dancing on the stage. Ruby comes down and gives her like the side eye, going, "God damn, with this child." It's like me when Kimmy gets on here. It's just exactly I'm Ruby and Kimmy's Willow Nightingale.
Damn.
It's exactly
Lovingly,
Kimmy,
in a loving way.
Kimmy, it's exactly what would happen. You'd be there standing next to me dancing away, and that's exactly what I would do. You can't not agree with that.
That happened when I met Kyle for the first
my damn
time.
headset. One sec.
Like,
There
when
we
I
go.
met Kyle, I like ran into the restaurant all excited to meet Kyle in person. This was a year and a half in the making. Oh, look who it is. It's Kimmy.
Oh, look, it's Kimmy. Hello, how are you?
And I'm just like, way to
No
ruin a
sells,
moment.
no sells everything.
Sold it hard. It was great. Anyways, tag team match was fantastic. Great tag team match. TJ just know how to really get that heat on them too. And the meme that came after that, Ty trying to twerk at Willow and then Willow twerking right back, instantly became a meme all day today. Could see everyone retweeting it. It was funny as hell. Even Willow retweeting it too. But this is a great match. I really enjoyed this. Kimmy, what'd you think?
So when I first got introduced to Willow, it was in the Ring of Honor Women's Tournament. And I remember I never saw Willow before. And Maria and I were talking about her. And Maria goes, "Kimmy, you're going to love her. She's going to be such a star one day." Well, she was right, because look at Willow now. This match was really good. And this match got a lot of time. It was still in the 9:20 spot, but this match got a good 10 to 12 minutes, which is huge because they usually don't get that much time. So hell yeah, Tony Khan, way to go, my dude. But I'm intrigued to see what's next. I don't think it's very beneficial for Ruby to keep on losing, to be honest. I think that's hurting her momentum a little bit, because even Ruby didn't get that big of a pop, but Willow did. So I think 2023 we need a Ruby Soho wins. We need to see that a lot more in 2023, because I think it's definitely hurting her. And everyone was so excited when Ruby got signed, but she hasn't really done anything except lose. And that's why she left WWE. That's one of the reasons she was frustrated in WWE, was 'cause she kept on losing. She's doing the same thing here.
Yeah, I hope it leads to eventually her getting a big win over Ty. I think that'd be a good end goal with this feud. But Jackie, as for the tag team match, you mentioned your comments already with Willow, but what do you think of it as a whole?
I thought it was good. Ty and Anna obviously have tagged together multiple times. The chemistry is there. But I thought that with Ruby and Willow, for never having tagged before, they had a lot of cohesiveness in their tag. They had like a good flow and chemistry about them too. So I thought they worked really well together for it being the first time that I know of that they've worked together. They looked great out there. I do think Ruby needs a little bit of a renaissance moment for herself also. She needs that momentum uptick for her, and I feel bad because Ruby is an incredibly talented performer. I think she just needs a little bit of a spark lit under her also. But, for all intents and purposes, I thought the match was, great. We had some chairs introduced in the match. Could we get a match with some more hardcore elements brought into it? I think we could, and I think it would be really cool to do that, even if it's a one-on-one with Ruby versus Ty. Do a hardcore match, do something like, up the ante, up the stakes a little bit, continue the feud out. And like you said, if we see Ruby come out on top, that would be a good way to kind of put her back on a winning momentum.
And even when they did that tag match last year with all the weapons, they said that was the best match on Rampage, and that got the most publicity. So this does get over. It gets good ratings. Let's freaking do it.
Let the women do it. Damn it.
Exactly.
They're good at it.
Yep.
Tony, I know you. We know you're watching. Let's book it.
We know you listen.
Yeah.
We have proof. Oh. We have the receipts.
God, I keep unplugging my damn headset. I do this. I had a longer cord and I meant to switch back to it. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, let's talk about the opening of Dynamite, because this was fantastic. Great pro wrestling in-ring match between Bryan Danielson and Ethan Page. The story they're running with them is amazing. It was great in-ring performing. Not only that, just like the stuff like they are doing on the side with Stokely too, with the hat, like everything in this match from start to finish, all the elements. MJF in the top of the rafters with some random chick he said is one of the hottest girls in Colorado. It was great. Such a great opening match. But again, weirds me out that they did this now and not next week. Why would, this felt like this should have been like the opening of next week's match or next week's, unless they have a plan for Bryan Danielson to be in the main event next week, which it kind of looks like they could do because the Elite and Death Triangle have a match next week. You really don't have a main event in store unless they were going to do. I don't think they're doing Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho in the main event. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. They also have that TNT match that it could be a main event, but unless they have a plan, if Bryan Danielson isn't in the main event this next week, why the hell wasn't this match put into the opener for next week? Because Bryan Danielson was the first entrant out. I'm like, we're in Bloomingfield, Colorado. Why are we doing this week when his hometown is next week? What are we doing?
Oh my God. You would think that Danielson having his homecoming next week, he has to be main eventing next week. It would be really ridiculous not to have him in the main event.
It was just weird. I'm like, what are we doing?
Well, I saw people on Twitter saying today, I didn't see this anywhere though, so I don't know where people were coming up with this, that when Punk wrestled in his first time in Chicago, he wrestled QT Marshall. So people were like, oh, Brian's just going to wrestle like a nobody just to get a huge pop. I'm not saying it's QT Marshall. People were saying it was Tony Nese. But again, they didn't announce it was Tony Nese. But, anyway, Tony Nese versus Bryan Danielson will be a great technical match.
It would, but I don't know. I feel like it's probably going to be someone from the firm. It's going to be Lee Moriarty.
It's going to be Aaron Solo.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, wow.
I hope
Nick
not.
Camarado. It's gonna be Nick
Stop.
Camarado. Don't do it.
Stop. Absolutely not. Oh, God.
What's wrong with Nick
Anyways,
Camarado?
great opening of Dynamite, though. That was a really good match. And then, they're furthering the storyline with Bryan Danielson and MJF. Looks like they're stretching this out. They're going to have to stretch it out another 2 months. So, I'm wondering what they're going to do for another 8 weeks with this feud. I mean, they could do a lot of cool things. They could. But I imagine that it's going to be a pay-per-view payoff. I don't think they're going to have a random episode of Dynamite for the world title.
I think this has to be the main event because it's the first West Coast pay-per-view because it's in California,
Yeah.
and I know I think tickets already went on sale, but you need a marquee match for LA, and this is the match to do it. I
Mhm.
thought the opening was really good, and this is the Bryan Danielson we've all been wanting to see. He can put on a good match. I think Ethan Page has really showed out the last half of the year. I think him splitting from Scorpio, you could really see that he can shine as a singles performer, and I really hope he has a big 2023. But yeah, this match was really good. I'm excited to see what's next, but I don't know how they're going to stretch this out for 8 weeks. I would have waited till at least January to start this whole programming thing. But you know what, Tony Khan, I trust you, my man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
And then we had the BCC. We had Claudio and John Moxley taking on Top Flight. I can't believe I've seen the shirt before Dynamite. Literally, they release a shirt that says, and now we going for a ride. And it's literally what I say out loud every single time Top Flight makes an entrance while we're watching
Every
Dynamite.
single time.
It's just, and I'm like, oh, so they made this t-shirt specifically for me. I got you. Okay, so I'm going to get it now. And I'm going to wear it on the show. I'm going to go to my global shop AEW because I get those shirts in like 3 days. It's crazy.
You're so cool.
I'm not trying to be cool, Kimmy.
We envy your 3-day PWT shipping. We have to wait 2 weeks here in the US. Way to go, Kyle.
Thanks.
The sarcasm.
I don't even know what to say at that point. Anyways, yeah, great tag team match between BCC and Top Flight. Again, this was my favorite match of the night. I don't know what it was. Just did it for me. They did the segment with Hangman Page, right? With you could be cleared in 2 weeks. So they've basically booked Hangman Page's return match for the LA show, which will be Hangman versus John Moxley, which is a huge marquee match to add to that show.
Yes.
So that's the story here is with Hangman and Moxley. Like, do you think these guys just have like a regular one-on-one match?
No.
They could. They could reasonably do it that way and it'll still be a banger of a match. But knowing them, they'll probably add some stipulation to it just to like make it feel bigger and make it feel more dangerous because they have so much bad blood between them. And it's been building like for weeks now. But I would personally, they could just book it as a regular match and I think it'll still slap.
I'd be satisfied no matter what they do. But I feel like because they fought around the arena so many times, you gotta either do no DQ or falls count anywhere and just let them go. Just let them fight all over LA.
Or
Hell,
maybe,
they can even fight in the streets.
Or maybe
Just
this
do it.
eventually leads to the stipulation match being at the pay-per-view. And this, they just, this is just a little start or a little continuation of the feud. Like there's a match in between. Like they have a match together. It's a singles match. They're not done with each other afterwards. It gets booked into a stipulation match for the pay-per-view. Maybe a lights out match, Jermaine's signature. Maybe a lights out match at the pay-per-view, which would be interesting. Shouts to though Bill Bodkin in the chat. Finally got to meet you at Full Gear alongside with Kimmy for the first time. That was awesome.
Even though he no-sold me, guys.
But I'm loving this feud. I'm absolutely loving this grudge feud between these two. Like the Hangman and Moxley feud has grown on me, and I'm a huge fan, and I'm all for it. And, man, the LA show is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, we have already 3 matches to look forward to as Kimmy's frozen right now, which is hilarious. We went through this.
It's you.
Went through this last week. It's not me because Jackie did not freeze.
It's you. We're just going to blame you.
Okay. But you're back.
You live in a different
you're
country.
Good. Yeah. Oh, but, I mean, Jackie does too.
No.
That's not how it works, Kimmy.
It's okay though. You're good.
You're good. Anyways, she did it again.
Oh no. We're live, pal.
Yeah, but that LA show, it's going to be great. You have, obviously, the women's tag match with the highly anticipated potential of Mercedes, right? You also have now Moxley and Hangman, which looks like it's going to be booked there. And now you have the ladder match, the match 7. So you have 3 solid matches booked for that LA Forum show, which is going to be incredible. Cannot wait. But other than that, Dynamite, I think I'm missing anything. They touched base on like the guns, the ass boys, whatever, like walking out all cocky, like they're saying they're the best tag team in the world, and they're gonna address their FTR win next week. I don't know if they're continue. You got to think that they got to continue with that, right? They have to. FTR is not going to let the guns get away with what they've been doing and tormenting them for months. So
They better not.
I'd hope the next week.
Damned.
I hope the next week we get that continuation. Maybe it leads to them having a tag match at the LA Forum show or something like that, or maybe even a match next week. We'll see.
Well, we have Wrestle Kingdom coming up, and FTR will be in Japan for that.
Right.
So
yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, so I wonder if they did something pre-taped. I don't know. That is next week. Yep, we'll see. That would be something the Ass Boys would do, is to come out on Dynamite next week and call FTR for that, and then they're not there because they're in Japan, like the pansies that they are. You know what I mean? That's something that they would do.
Jerks.
Yeah, I can see that happening next week. But am I missing anything?
We got Swerve, and we got a little bit of a brief thing with Swerve and Mogul Affiliates.
Oh, that's right.
And Wheeler Yuta came and issued a challenge to Swerve for Rampage, which I love Wheeler Yuta so much, man. he just picked a fight for no damn reason. He's like, yeah,
it's like a little chihuahua.
He's like, I have no respect for you. You pissed me off. Let's fight. And I'm like, he's learned so much from John Moxley and the BCC. I'm so proud of Wheeler
Adam,
Yuta.
that's right. So literally the IWGP belts are the last belts that they have. And they potentially could be beltless after next week. Oh man.
Jackie.
Don't curse at me like that. I want to have hope.
Maybe they'll win.
Maybe.
They probably won't.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We'll see.
But I don't think I'm missing anything else on Dynamite.
No, but can we talk about Rampage? How baddies are fighting?
Oh, that's right, Rampage. Rampage looks interesting. I mean, we have Jade and Kiera Hogan, right? We do have Orange Cassidy and Trent, which is an interesting match because Kip Sabian, who I'm loving his whole gimmick and role lately. Kip Sabian, they kind of made mention backstage like what's been going on. It kind of looked like it was leading to that, which we know it's eventually going to lead to Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy. But Orange Cassidy giving the title shot to Trent, and Trent's like, "You sure about that?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
I mean, by his logic, it made sense. He was the one that eliminated first, so he should be entitled.
So you have that. You also have, what else is happening on Rampage? I'm forgetting stuff.
Moxley's speaking.
That's right, Moxley is speaking. There's another match, and why am I blanking on it? Oh my god, it's bugging me. I probably should have written this down.
I'm about to say, we came unprepared with no notes.
We tried.
But you know what? If it was, if it's memorable, the crowd would be memorable. They got to start making Rampage better. We say it all the time. And they're working on it, so maybe it will. But, I mean, it's going to have a new look. That's also going to have a new look starting next week, they said, so that'll be interesting. This will be the last look in Rampage.
Your girl's talking.
Jamie Hayter, yes, they're sitting down and talking with Jamie Hayter. That's right. I can't believe I forgot that.
It's Swerve. I have it. It's Swerve Yuta, Jade Kiera, Orange Trent, and we'll hear from Jamie Hayter and John Moxley.
Don't Bill Double J speaks.
Yeah, Double J speaks too.
Oh, great!
Just for Phil.
I'm tuning in just for that. That's it. But anyways, guys.
J-E double F J-A double R-E-double-T.
Wow. Can't believe you just did that. But yes, next week, I tweeted this out earlier. Next week, we have our award show.
Yay.
It's the Elite POV Awards. Friday, January 6th is our award show because nothing else happens on that day or happened on that day. But fan voting. Yes. The questionnaire or the fan voting sheet is done and it will be posted on the Elite POV tomorrow on the Twitter page. So make sure you guys look out on the Twitter page. You guys will be able to click the link and go and vote for your match of the year, female wrestler of the year, all that stuff. All those categories will be there. The link will be posted on the Elite POV Twitter. So make sure you are following us on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. That is twitter.com/ElitePOV. Same thing on Instagram. Same thing on Patreon. And you can follow us on TikTok, and that is at Elite POV Clips on there. The Patreon's a good way to support the show. Patreon.com/ElitePOV. Again, we're getting a big revamp of the brand going into 2023. A lot of cool stuff coming to the Patreon page exclusively, and a lot of YouTube content coming there early for you Patreon members. Like I said, the award show next week, 2022 Elite POV show. We'll be having our regular podcast and the Elite POV Awards. It's going to be a big show next week, and it's going to also have a lot of cool stuff on that show, folks. We already did release the new shows coming. We saw the logos. We saw the iHeart WC podcast ranked this week. Let's Talk getting a little bit of a revamp, but next week, most importantly, next week, ladies and gentlemen, the new brand logo is going to be revealed. Our official brand, Elite POV brand logo, will be revealed next week, and the whole revamp of this whole channel will happen after next week. Cannot wait to release that to you guys. Big show next week. Hope you guys can join us again Friday, January 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here live on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you guys are smashing the like button right down below and hit subscribe. Both of those are free to do. Just free. Just click subscribe. That's all you got to do. Hit the like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. But that is going to wrap it up for this show, ladies and gentlemen. We are available on audio platforms after it is done. The Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you're getting your podcast. Search up Elite POV. That's where you can find us on there. Jackie, let them know where they can follow you on social media. Let them know.
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24, and you can follow me on Instagram at JacksTheDrawPOV.
Kimmy, let them know where they can follow you.
Kimmy_Sokol, SOKOL, and just thank you for all the positive feedback on Honor POV, because my phone was blowing up like crazy. We're gonna have a good time with Honor POV. I might have some surprises in store for y'all. So
there you go.
Look out.
Yeah, the new host of Honor POV, covering all Ring of Honor, coming to the Elite POV brand, folks. It's going to be an awesome one. It's going to be a big show next week. Hope to see you guys there. That's going to do it for myself. You can follow me at All Elite Kyle. Totally, I was just about to say my old freaking at. But that's going to do it for another episode of Elite POV. And remember, you don't need a hat to be a cowboy. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast.